We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for the Top Gun Sales Boot Camp. And I think we're in week 4 here. I could be mistaken, but um, okay, we're going to go around the room every morning. And so this is, go around. And I think what it is percentage. So what percentage of what you had to do yesterday, your number one thing that you had to do in sales yesterday, what percentage did you do? And if you didn't do 100%, why not? All right, Nora.
I would say I probably did 90 to 95%.
Okay. And why didn't you do 100%? Does
Not sure.
anybody go ahead?
Not sure.
Does anybody know why Nora didn't do 100%? It's because she doesn't listen to me. She doesn't internalize what I say. What do you mean, Mark? Yeah, no, thanks for asking. Um, so I'm pretty sure she's heard me say that in business and owning your own company and sales, like if you do 90% of the work, you don't get paid anything. Like if it takes 10 contacts to make a sale and you do 9 contacts, you don't make any money because there's no sale because you get paid on the last 1% or 3%, last 1%. Like 99%, you don't get paid anything. It's that 100%. So if that's true in sales, like in the quantity, why wouldn't it be true daily, right? And so she hasn't, so either I haven't taught her that or she hasn't really internalized that. I mean, if you're that close to the, if that you're that close, like push through, like get the 100%. You get the 100%. Why is there such a great reward in the scoring and the points and action vision if you work on it? Like on the star, how much do you get on a star in the action vision? How many points do you get for completion of it? 5. It's in the instructions. That's a good way to test and see if you're reading, your instruction for your book. 5. And if you work on it but don't complete it, how much do you get points there? 2. So let me get this straight. I do 99% of, you'll want to check on that. It's been 30 years since I've read it. So, anyways, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 points and 2 points. And so it tells you in the instructions on why you do it. So there's a reason for that. So I was 29 years old. I was Becky's age when I came up with that system. That'd be an interesting, history story. So why do you go ahead and get like 40%, 2/5, whatever that is, 37%, whatever that is? Why do you only get 30% of the points and you're doing 99%? Why is completion rewarded so heavily on action vision? Because of that concept. That concept is completion of things that you get rewarded. You don't go ahead and you do 95, 97. And Nora and I didn't coordinate this. We didn't talk about it this morning or last night. What are you going to do? Like, this is one of the best lessons that you could ever have. And that the difference between 95% and 100%, like, how much did Nora lose because she didn't push it just a little bit further yesterday? How much did she lose? Yeah, good question, Mark.
Um,
She doesn't know.
um,
She'll never know. She will never get a bill for that extra 1 call, 2 calls, 3 calls, whatever. She will never, ever, ever know because you don't get a bill for what you didn't do. You just don't. So how do you, I mean, it's the 7 business cards in the pocket principle from the guy. Like that, internalizing that. How do you become? I am not, and I think he went ahead and, retired at, I don't know, 40 or something, 45, something like that. Like he didn't have to work again after 40, 45. That'd be a great story to have Tom tell us. Me, it took until 55. I think it was Norm, but it could have been somebody else that was talking and saying, I don't want to wait until 55. Well, then you're going to have more discipline than Mark did. I mean, I didn't know when I was you guys' age what I know now. I didn't have Tom in my life. You guys have Tom in your life like crazy. You guys ought to send him something special and say, hey, thank you for impacting me. Like, I get something every week from you. I appreciate you. Like, that'd be really cool. So nice. Nice. Becky, what percentage?
Uh, Probably 85.
And why not 100? The point is, there's always a reason, and the marketplace doesn't care. It just doesn't care. It's one of the hardest things to teach women. Like, it's the hardest thing. It's like, well, my kids are sick, or, or, they're, diarrhea. It's like, I care about that for Becky. Marketplace doesn't. And that's one of the benefits of being a man. Like I remember our kids get sick. Who takes care of it? Like almost always, it's my wife. Well, what if, well, I mean, she was a stay-at-home mom. What if she had to work? What if she was working outside the home, either because she had to or, based on choice? So she had to do it, or it was choice. So if she was working outside the home, if she had a job, who would take care of the kids and the vomit and the diarrhea? Who would take care of the kids if the woman's working outside the home?
The mom.
Yeah, the mom, she just always does. I don't know why. It's one of the benefits of being a man. Like it just is. It just is. Now, there's benefits of being a woman too. So you can't have both. I mean, a lot of people in society today are trying to have the both. Like, I'm going to have all the benefits of the man, all the benefits of the woman. That just creates a whole bunch of mental illness. Just saying. Like, just say so. But a woman has a harder time because the marketplace doesn't care. You just think of a jungle. You think of this really cute little, zebra, and and it's handicapped. It's a handicapped, cute zebra, little baby zebra. What's going to happen in the jungle? It gets eaten. It just does. Tigers don't go ahead and go, oh, that's a cute little zebra and it's handicapped. No, it's handicapped. It's cute. It gets eaten. The jungle doesn't care. One of the hardest things to teach women, it's like, hey, sweetheart, the jungle doesn't care. The marketplace doesn't care about you. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Clients ish, kind of, if they're friends. When Jonathan died, I mean, jeepers. Did the clients care? I mean, ish. I mean, they were really sweet and really nice. And, I mean, some of them were. One of them did. Jeepers. Like he died on a Wednesday in a violent death. Like it's a gunshot, rifle shot to the head. 19-year-old brother's 5 feet away from him. And on Wednesday, he died. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we got going on here. One of the clients that had been a client for 20 years, and they said to me, like 20 years prior, they said, Mark, you're one of our best friends. And I thought, this was a couple months into our, onto the client. And the client goes, so you're one of our best friends. I'm like, man, you got to get a life. You got to get some new friends because really? But I was touched, whatever. 20 years of friendship. Well, 15 years. Well, maybe 20, 15 to 20 years of friendship. And I get a call on Saturday. He died on a Wednesday. He died on a Wednesday. And then on a Saturday, I get a call and it's like, Mark, you going to be on for Monday mornings, call with the team? Well, I was kind of not planning on it. But if you need me to be, I mean, I will. I mean, I got other people can do it. Well, no, it's really important that you are. okay, no problem. Like I can do that. Like why? Like why? What's the sense of urgency? They're like, the employees don't know who the leader is. Like what? Like, because you're starfishing the spider. You know, you're a leaderless organization, but you're not designed. You control things. You're control freaks. You control things you shouldn't and don't control the things you should. Did I say that? I did. I just said, not a problem. I'll be there. And I was. And it's okay. And so, that's why you can have the freedom in owning your own company. That's why you have the freedom of owning your own company. That's why you go ahead and can make a tremendous amount of money. Like you can make a tremendous amount of money, but there's a price that comes with that. There's sacrifice that comes with that. I'm not bitter or angry at the client. They're a client. I get it. It's a little goofy, but but it's fine. And so especially women, and again, like Becky's concept is having, moms, single or otherwise, take care of kids and kind of do a co-op collaboration together, like hunting in packs. So women have an advantage over men. Men tend not to do that well at all. They suck at that. Oh my gracious. Because it's all ego. They want all the glory. They're kind of wired to go ahead and share the glory with others, to give credit to maybe people who didn't do a lot. So nice. Kenny, percentage to get to the work to get to, your 2.5 million.
45%.
Okay. And how confident are you that you've got the right numbers, that you know what you need to do daily?
The numbers, I'm confident in the numbers, but on the actions behind the numbers, not so much.
Right. Because it's complicated, right?
I mean, the numbers we have are kind of results based, not efforts.
Right. So how many phone calls do you need to go ahead and make? And Nora's doing you guys all a huge favor. Where she's on with Shuaib every day with me and pushing the pressure point analysis, because that will go ahead and give us a reading of where we're at. Like you can guess at it, and I would always check the numbers against your intuition. So in flying an airplane, you trust the instrument panels. Well, what if you think the instrument panels are wrong? Well, then you check on it, because the instrument panels, most of the time they're not. Like most of the time they're not. There's a story, I don't know if they teach us in flight training. Probably. So there's a story of I think it was a B-2 bomber that disappeared in World War II. Like they couldn't find it, and it was running low on fuel. And they didn't find it for, I don't know, 50 years. So where did they look for it's running low on fuel. Where did they look for the bomber?
Probably the last place they knew where it was.
Yeah, and I don't know. They, before the runway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if it's low on fuel, it's going to crash before the runway. Where did they find the plane 50 years later?
Was it after the runway?
It was after the runway. I don't know, 50 miles, 100 miles. Like it was after the runway. And so what happened is they had a tailwind, so they were low on fuel. So they did the numbers or whatever. And so the pilot went ahead and said, we're supposed to go ahead and, so they missed the runway because they didn't trust the instrument panels. So most of the time, like that's one of the 5 habits, follow the rules because they're usually right. They didn't say they're right 100% of the time. They just said they're usually right. Like rules are there for a reason. Picasso, the famous painter, he had something about rules. We'll talk about that at another time. And so, but if your intuition and the instruments don't match, you become very attentive, like very, very, very attentive, because the instrument panels could be wrong. And so you got it. Now you're like, okay, I think I'm going up when I'm going down. Like that looks like the ground. The instrument panels say I'm going up, but the ground is there. Like you got to do both. But where people, most people make mistakes is they trust their gut feel. They trust their stuff. They don't trust, the instruments, and that can be fatal. So, yeah. And so 3 months, typically in Action Vision, you go ahead and have this wow income goal. And you go ahead and you have your plan. It's built out, and it's a hard plan. Like if you're trying to double or triple your income or your sales, that's not easy. Like there's so much intentionality, there's so much work, so much sacrifice, so much risk. It doesn't just magically happen. Somebody pays a price for that. And so what Action Vision does typically is you're getting low scores on your Action Vision. You're like, I'm getting 30%, 20, 30, 40%. I can't do this. Okay, well then lower your goal. Like Luke, he'll never forget that. He once said, well, let's lower our goal. I'm like, what? And they didn't. And I'm guessing they did, $100,000, $200,000 more in sales because they didn't lower their goal. And so what you do is you have this tension in Action. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. I have to. I can't. So first thing is, do you really want your 1-1? I mean, which level of want do it? Doesn't have to be 5, like you're going to give up your life, but it's got to be more than 1. It's going to take work and sacrifice and risk. It's going to take that. It just will. Like the guy 7 business cards in the pocket story. So Rosanna didn't have to work outside the home. Why? Because I did. Like I had 2 jobs. Like I would work like crazy. And when 9/11 happened, it just decimated. It was crazy. So we have this house, nice house. Sales are going good. Everything's going good. Everything's wonderful. Everything's wonderful. Things are, beautiful home, beautiful property. Business is going well. I got my hours down to 50 hours a week, which was nothing for me. People who go ahead and say they work 50 hours a week and they can't have a balanced life. Are you kidding? I worked 90. I worked 110 hours a week and still dated my wife every week. Still went ahead and had family nights. Still went ahead and did all this other. It's like, you're a goofball if you're just undisciplined. You're not intentional in what you're doing. So anyways, things went south. Like the business just got massacred. And I didn't want to go back up to 60, 70, 80, 90, 110 hour weeks. I didn't want to do that. Like I didn't want to do that. But I didn't want to. I'd rather die in the jungle and live in the zoo. But wives, they don't like losing houses. Kids don't like losing houses or neighborhoods or friends or whatever. And I mean, everything was brutal. And I'm like, I can't turn this thing around. And then, we burned through all of our reserves. And then we burned through, then we started building up debt, which we'd never had before. And it's like, jeepers. And so we have a family meeting. 7 kids and my wife, and we're in the living room. Never forget that. I said, hey guys, Dad's trying to turn this around. He can't. So essentially we have 3 choices. Choice number 1 is, Dad works more hours. Like I don't want to work 70, 80, 90, 110 hours. I've been there, done that. Dad doesn't want that. Like he just doesn't. I mean, I love my work, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'd prefer not to do that. Option number 2, is you kids are getting older, you're helping, you're cleaning the office and you're doing some work and stuff, but you guys could do more at the office. You could do more with the business. So before we had the computer to do the, do the business x-ray, Ginger Ann, Jonathan, and Melissa, all three went ahead and manually learned how to do the business x-ray when they're like, I don't know, 10, 11, and 12 years old. But there's more that they could do. So you guys could go ahead and help. You guys could go ahead and help more with the business so dad can put his time into higher dollar productive people. We couldn't afford to have people doing the work. So, hey, how about the kids doing it? So that's second option. Or the third option is, sell the house. We don't need this big of a house. I mean, we got to have more than a 3-bedroom house, little ranch for 7 kids, but we don't need this big. I guess a nice home. So we could sell the house, get something not as nice. And so, all the pastors at the church go ahead and say, they get up and they preach their beautiful sermons and they say your wife and your kids, they don't want nice things. They don't want cars. They want you as a dad, as a husband. I'm like, well, this is going to be a good test. So the third is sell the house. And that way we don't have to go ahead and so which of the 3 options do my wife and kids choose?
You work more hours?
No, Luke, what are the pastors saying? The pastors say that your wife and kids don't want that. So my wife and kids, all of them said, let's sell the house.
Copy that. Okay. Did you?
No, because I'm like, I think there's some shenanigans going on here. Something's not right. So I said, that's interesting. Well, it's a good market. That's good news. We can go ahead and, I think the house will sell in 2-3 months. There was a pin that dropped. Like you could hear a pin drop. Everything changed. Wife, children, everybody changed. Like everybody's like, Dad, we thought that it'd take like, I don't know, 6 months to a year to sell the house. And by then you'd have turned everything around. See, they're living in a fairy tale. They just think stuff magically happens. No, it doesn't. And I said, I don't even know if I can turn it around. And I'm thinking because of my religious background, there's no way God's going to go ahead and allow me to turn it around because what lessons would that teach? So I don't even know if I could do it. Like it's brutal because in the marketplace, it changed on me and I didn't see the change. So then what did they do?
Which chose one of the other 2 options.
No, they didn't. No, see, Luke, he's not married yet. He doesn't understand women, doesn't understand children. No, they came up with a 4th option. The 4th option was they're going to help their mother around the house. Their mother around the house doesn't need the help like Dad. Dad's out there dying. Like he's got all the pressure, everything. So no, they come up with a 4th option. We'll help Mom. That wasn't one of the options. So what does Dad do?
Don't know.
He just accepts it. 2 feelings I had. One, I felt good as a man. Like I'm gonna do my best to turn this plane around. It's not looking good. I don't know if I can do this. But you know what? I'm going to do it for my wife. I'm going to do it for my kids. So that's one feeling that hit. The other feeling hit simultaneously, both feeling I'm just a piece of meat. Just a piece of meat. That's it. Luke, what you percentage wise?
Probably 0.
So obviously it doesn't take a brain surgeon or rocket science. Like you got to figure out what you need to do. And if you don't know what you need to do something. So you've got to do something because you've got to make up for that time. So what you might have to do is you might have to give up a hunting trip, or you might have to give up a family night, or you might have to give up volunteering. You might have to make some type of sacrifice at another time because you're not nailing what you need to nail. That's just the marketplace. See, it's not about the money. It's not about the 2.5 million. It's about, do I have the character and the integrity to do what I need to do? Like, it's a stewardship thing. Like, the 10 talent, the 5 talent, 3 talent, or 2 talent, whatever that was, and 1 talent. Like, the 1 talent's like, yeah, well, you're a shrewd master, and you reap where you don't sow. That's an employee mindset. You make money off of me. Okay. I support you, build you up. I go ahead and do all this. I take the risk, make the sacrifice. I do that. An employee mindset is, that. And so when the 5 talent person turns it into 10, he had to work hard, really, really hard. What else you guys got for us today?
Response time. How does that affect the sales?
Big time. So I don't know how to get you guys to internalize this. I just don't. I mean, it's just weird to me. So I'm in San Antonio, Texas. I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And I'm talking to this guy, and he was the vice president of the USAA, which is military credit union, and he was head of the division. He was head of the division, the mortgage division. See, I don't know how to get you guys to internalize this, to understand this. He said, Mark, he said, if we answer the phone, so they have marketing efforts. So there's marketing efforts out here. Okay. There's marketing efforts out here, and that generates leads. He said, if we answer the phone, we convert. I think he said like 80%, 90% of the people that come in. I'm like, okay. If we answer the phone, somebody calls in, they're interested in the mortgage, 90%, bam, they're going to get 90% of the client, of the people. He said, if we call them back like 2 minutes later, it drops from 90% down to like, I think he said 60%, which is a 30% drop for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and it's a 30% drop. Millions of dollars are lost because of 2 minutes. He said, if we call him back, if we call him back 5 minutes later, it drops down to like 30%. If it takes more than 5 minutes, it drops down to less than 10%. When he told me that, I didn't read it. They didn't teach me that in some business, degree. With my 3 business degrees, they didn't teach me that. That's out in the field. That's the real life. So the response time is everything. I mean, everything. Everything. And then the follow-up time is everything. Follow up on your proposals, follow up on your follow up on the leads. Like having a system to follow up. And there's another whole, be great to cover that in another session. That's where these courses, you guys get these courses, like you're going through 2 courses. We got to get that back on track. I'm hoping you guys are able to figure that out, but I might need to do that. So there's courses you guys are going through, but real salespeople, business owners, you really want to be good, you're going to go through the marketing courses, generating leads. You're going to go through the pre-sales courses. Trust me, the 7 hours it takes to go through one of these courses, 6 to 7 hours, it took a lot more than 6, 7 hours to learn what's in these courses. It took more than, 60 or 70 hours to learn. It's been condensed down into something small. So you need to be a student for life. Like you need to learn this, like you need to be a sponge because all of this stuff interconnects together. Great question. Other questions?
I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and he's redoing his shop and stuff, and so he's been working in the factory. Um, how do you handle something like that? Because he could really use help, but he's not in a position right now because he's not
Not in a
actually working
position
in
to
the
do what?
shop. What?
He's not in a position to do what?
Well, he's not like actually like he shut down his shop because he's um they moved and then so now he has to redo everything. So he shut down his shop and he won't be open again for like I don't know, half a year probably.
So did he go ahead and was he working in the factory when he had the shop?
Part-time.
Okay, yeah. So does he want to go back to that life again?
No.
Yeah. So he's going to go back to that life almost guaranteed. If he
Why is
doesn't
that?
get if he doesn't get coaching, because the reason that he went ahead was the reason he's in the situation now, back working at the factory full time, is based on how he thinks.
Right, because it's an easy paycheck and he's
Yeah, he doesn't have to make sacrifice, doesn't have to take risks. It's an easy paycheck, and he makes a lot of money, and so he's going to go ahead and he'll gradually build up his shop. And so in the Amish world, everybody says they want to get out of the factory, but they really don't. They think they do, but they really don't. And the longer you're in the factory, the harder it is to get out. And some
so how
people
do you
never do.
help someone like that?
You have a conversation like I just had. You might be not as direct as I am. You might say, so do you want to get out of the factory? You ask questions to help them to come to the conclusion, that's the right conclusion. Often they're like teenagers. They might be like small children. They'll learn a lot faster, but like, do you want to get out of the factory full time? Oh, for sure. Do you know what to do that? I think so. So why aren't you out of the factory now then? So you ask hard questions that challenge somebody's thoughts and says, but the older they are, the harder it is for them to change their thinking.
So he wants to have something to pass down to his kids and he
Oh
sees the
my
value
goodness.
in him. But okay, so how much I guess my question is how much do I pursue him now before he has a shop like
He's
back
got to
up and
have a
running?
business x-ray.
Okay.
See, what he's going to pass down to his kids is not what he wants to pass down to his children. And it's going to suck when he goes ahead and does all this work, and then his kids don't want to go ahead and take over what he's got. Why don't his kids want to take over what he's got?
Because he owns a job.
Because he owns the job. That's not what I was going to say. But what you said was far better. Cheapers, that's good. I was going to say because they see how much work dad has to do. I don't want that. I just want to work in the factory. Well, you will for some period of time, yes. And so yeah, and if you can't reel him in, then definitely get him to talk to me. So the stories I got, see, I never got in the factory. Why? Because I knew at the age of 23 years old, I knew I was seduced. My wife is pregnant, 3 months pregnant. We buy a house. I'm making $1 an hour. I mean, I'm drowned in here. I'm drowned in here. And I'm like, oh man, it would be easy to take and they were good jobs, company car and benefits. I mean, they're good jobs, but they're still working in the factory. You're just working. I mean, we talked to yesterday to her, right? Like 20 years in corporate America. Bless her heart. Like Shannon, like just bless her heart. I hurt for her. What's it like to give up 20 years of your life? So at 23, 24, somehow I knew at 23, 24, Mark, don't ever get into the factory. Don't ever get in because it'll be really hard to get out. And some people never make it out of the car. Some people never make it out of the factory. Nice. Nice. Anything else? So there's a lot going on, right? And it's like, I like structure, I like things to be more structured. You know, I, these random things. And so if you're new to sales, I mean, Becky's new to sales, so that's good. Kenny's been doing it for Kenny and Luke's been doing it for 2 years. Kenny's been doing it for 2 years. Luke's starting to get ramped up on it. And so Nora's been doing it for 6 months. And so, no, I mean, I think, but know your numbers. That's one of Tom's biggest things. Know your numbers, which is the pressure point analysis. But then, even knowing the numbers, this is how many phone calls I need to make every day. There's going to be temptation to go ahead and cut corners. And you'll get away with it, or you'll think you're getting away with it for some period of time, and then you won't. Anybody else have anything else?
No.
I'm really proud of all four of you. Why is that, Mark? Thanks for asking. I love you guys' fast response time. It's really cool. Very unlike other Amish. Amish, they tend to be slow, but you guys are making it happen. I don't know why. I'm proud of you guys. I'm just supposed to say that. Like, that's one of the things that Tony Davis went ahead and said to me. I didn't understand why then, but I do now. So you're always supposed to sandwich, and he was in the Marines. It's like, is that how you train in the Marines? You tell them a lot of good things, like you tell them. So he said, always sandwich, criticism, or, put something positive and then hit them and then say something positive again. So I don't know. My experience is often people just take the positive and they don't. Be harder on yourself, because the marketplace, it's more brutal than anything you'll ever face. And my hope is, by going through this, my hope is by being part of Life Masteries Institute, my hope is because of Action Vision, my hope is because of MCAT and Life GPS, my hope is that everything I've invested 30, 40 years into will help you guys never face the jungle like I have. Because the battle scars are deep. So you guys are awesome. Appreciate y'all. Good work. All right. So after, you always want to stay, come early, stay late, because that's where all the really good stuff is. So Nora gave me something nobody's ever told me, like, in 30 plus years. Nora, what did you say?
I said if you do the sandwich, you're not supposed to tell people that you're doing the sandwich.
Why not?
Because then it doesn't have the effect on it, because they know what you're doing. So it's like, he's just being nice. Like, he's just trying to be, like, he didn't really mean it. When you actually do, but it's like, it takes the effect away.
Huh. Interesting.
So it doesn't do to the full extent what the sandwich is intended to do.
Interesting.
For most people, I don't know. That's just my perspective.
So one of the
Other
things
people might not have noticed, even with you saying what you did. Might not have registered. I don't know.
So one of the things that Nora's working on, and it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy when you did as well in school as she did, and she's a woman too. And so when you got those things going for you, it's not easy to be humble. I get it. Well, I don't really get it. It's easy for me to be humble, but yeah. And so, but she's working, she says, so she's working on humility. And so when we're humble, we learn more. So not on this one here, probably. And so it'll be fascinating on another one when it comes up to see if, like Nora says, I mean, I love that she says you're not supposed to tell people, right? Hello, further proof I have social autism. So much evidence of it. Yeah, always come early, always stay late, for sure.